Hello everyone, welcome back to Chemistry CC for you. So I have got a lot of requests for two videos. One which is for MG University CAT practice questions, and the second for Pune University entrance examination questions. So tomorrow I'm going to put a video for the Pune University entrance aspirants about what are the types of questions asked and what are the areas that you should focus on. So that video will be out tomorrow. So today we are going to discuss a few questions from the Mahatma Gandhi University Common Admission Test practice question. So previously Mahatma Gandhi University they thought of not conducting the entrance examination and instead go with the marks of the qualifying examination for the admission in all courses. But right now they have changed their decision, and this exam is going to be held on 6th and 7th of October. So you have time, try to prepare really well. Let's begin the question. So the first question here, the most abundant transition metal in human body is. So this is a very simple question. One thing that you people need to in as far as I understood in the MG University entrance question, you do have questions covering all the parts including polymer biomolecules, but the type of questions are there pretty much straightforward. So if you could just identify the name of the common biomolecules and the metal ions contained in that, it will be easy for you to answer this. So the answer is iron, and there are different proteins containing iron which participates in various processes in the human body. Mainly they are in oxygen transport as well as electron transfer. So oxygen transport, it is hemoglobin, myoglobin, and for transfer also you have the biomolecules containing ions. So cytochrome etc., they have iron in the center, and there will be oxidation reduction reaction involving electron transfer, where the protein has iron in them. Now let's go to the next question. The two possible stereo structures of CH3CHOH, COOH, which are optically active, are called. So here you are given a compound and you are asked to find, you are also given the clue that these are optically active, and we need to identify the category of of the two stereo structures. So the answer is enantiomers. And what are enantiomers? They are non-superimposable mirror images of each other, like our hands. If you try to superimpose them, they cannot be superimposed. So let's take a look at the structure. So the CH3 CHOH COOH can be written like this. So you can see, if we keep this particular stereo structure on top of this do not superimpose, because the OH is on the left side in this one and on the right side in this particular stereo structure. So these are non-superimposable mirror images and therefore are called enantiomers. So whenever you have this kind of structures given to you, you should go with when you have these kinds of structure names, you should try to draw the structures first, and then try to identify whether they are superimposable or not. If they are non-superimposable mirror images which are optically active, they are enantiomers. Now let's go to the third question. The rate constant of the reaction A to B is 0.6 into 10 raised to minus 3 mole per second. If the concentration of A is 5 m, then the concentration of B after 20 minutes is. So here, first of all, I have done a lot of videos on chemical kinetics. I would suggest you to go watch those videos. I'll give the link of the videos in the description box below. Please go and watch that, because I have covered almost all the points in the chemical kinetics part in very short time. It will really help you, because I have covered only the important points in a very short time. So first of all, from the unit, which is mole per second, okay. So this gives us that the reaction is of first order. So if for a first order reaction, we know that the concentration of the product is given by this particular equation, which is concentration of B can be written as K into T, where K is the rate constant and T is the time. Here time is equal to 20 minutes, and rate constant is given as 0.6 into 10 raised to minus 3. So the concentration of A is just to confuse you. We don't need this quantity here. We can directly find the answer, which is 0.6 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 20 into 60. So we have to convert the 20 minutes into seconds, and when we do that, we'll get 0.72 m. which is option B. Let's take a look at it once more. You are given a rate constant. So the rate constant, the unit is per second, and you can identify that the reaction is of first order. And for a first order reaction, the concentration of the product can be given as a product of both rate constant as well as the time in seconds. So time can be in minutes if the rate constant is also given in minutes. Since it is not given in minutes, we will be converting it into converting the time into seconds. So 0.6 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 20, which is given into minutes, into 60 to convert it into seconds, and the answer becomes 0.72 m. Now the next question. So here so we have already completed this question. Now we have the next question, which is what is the maximum number of orbitals that can be identified with the following quantum numbers: n equal to 3, L equal to 1, and m equal to 0. So here you are given three different values of quantum numbers, which is principal quantum number, L, and m. So these values are already given. So we need to find how many orbitals has this same set of quantum numbers, whether there are two sets of orbitals which has the same quantum number or not. Let's take a look at it one by one. So n equal to 3 and L equal to 1 means 3p. So we know that n stands for the principal quantum number. If n equal to 2, then the orbital can be something like 2s or 2p. L If L value equal to 0, it corresponds to s, and if L value is equal to and if L value is equal to 1, it is equal to L equal to 0, it is S. L equal to 1, it is P. L is equal to 2, it is D. So on. It goes on like this. So further, we have M equal to 0. So M equal to 0 is for Py. If M equal to minus 1, it will be Px. Minus 1, it will be Px. Then if it is m equal to 1 plus 1, then it will be equal to m is equal to plus 1 can mean pz. So we have py. So from this information given, we can identify that only 3py is the orbital identified with the given set of quantum numbers. Therefore, the maximum number of orbitals that can be identified with the given quantum numbers, which is n equal to 3, L equal to 1, and m equal to 0, is option C, 1. There is only 3py. Again, when you are given the quantum numbers, try to write down which particular orbital it is. If you are confused, if m is not given, suppose here m is not given, there are three possibilities for this particular answer, which can be 3px, 3py, or 3pz. But since the m value is given, there is only one possibility with this complete set of quantum numbers. So that is the answer. Next, this is a very simple question. Green chemistry means such reactions which. So usually what it will be confusing for you people when study of the reaction in plants: produce color during reaction, reduce the use and production of hazardous chemicals related to depletion of ozone layer. So you know B is not the answer because most of the chemistry reaction totally consist of color formations in your reaction. So chemistry is a very colorful subject. So that is not the answer. And here in green, you always think about plants and also environment, but it is wrong. Actually, green chemistry means to reduce the use and production of hazardous chemicals. So they want to reduce the amount of chemicals they are using, try to use the same reagent multiple times, and also try to save the reagent and not get consumed completely. So these kinds of things are usually handled in green chemistry. So green chemistry is a new and emerging area of chemistry which will have a lot of scope in the coming years. So it is the reducing the use as well as the production of hazardous chemicals. Next question. O2 minus is isoelectronic with. So first thing you need to know is the meaning of the word isoelectronic. So isoelectronic stands for so two different species are isoelectronic if they have the same number of electrons. So let's see. Here O2 minus has 10 electrons. So O2 has 8 electrons, and O2 minus means there will be minus 2 will add up 2 in the 8 electrons. So total of 10 electrons are present in O2, O2 minus. This is not O2, it is O2 minus. Now, the answer is pretty much straightforward. It is Mg2 plus here, because Mg has 12 electrons and Mg2 plus 2 electrons will be lost, and it is having 10 electrons. So the answer here is Mg2 plus. So the isoelectronic species for O2 minus is Mg2 plus. Then what is the significance of the other option? So if you know, in the transition series, whenever you write the electronic configuration, we never calculate the total number of electrons. Instead, we always write D8, 3D8 and 4s2. So we assume that zinc has 10 electrons, but it is the valence, it is consisting of the D and the S electrons only, not the total number of electrons. So zinc does not have a total of 10 electrons. It is not total 10 electrons, but it is only of the 3D and 4s electrons. So never be confused. Isoelectronic species actually consist of the total number of electrons. Be very specific, it is about the total number of electrons. So calculate the total number of electrons and you are good to go. That is the answer of this question. Now next question. Lewis acid strength of BBr3, BCl3, BF3 is in the order. So the answer is Bi3 greater than BBr3 greater than BCl3 greater than BF3. Or in this case, how to write it? In this case, how can we write it? BF3 less than BCl3 less than BBr3. Option C would be the correct answer. So what is the reason? So usually, according to electronegativity, we expect the order to be decreasing from F to I. It should be decreasing from BF3 to BBr3. But there is a this anomaly occurs because of the tendency of halogen to back donate its electrons. So this back donation tendency decreases from fluorine to iodine. So the more amount, increases the tendency of halogen atom to back donate its unutilized electron is there. So this actually this back donation is trend changes from F to F to I3, and that is the reason why the Lewis acid strength of BBr3, BCl3, and BF3 changes in this particular order. I have already done a video on p block elements important points where I have covered the acidic strength, the reactivity order, and all those of group 15, group 16, and so on. So I suggest you people to watch that because it is going to be really helpful for you. Please watch that one and learn that part, because many questions can come from that part directly. Next question: which of the following complexes is used to be as an anti-cancer agent? So it is cisplatin, which is the cisplatin is cis PTCl2 NH3 twice. So cisplatin is the answer. Not trans or Br2. It is cisplatin. It should have this ammonia, PTCl2 NH3 twice. Cisplatin is the anti-cancer agent. Now, the vacant space in BCC lattice unit cell is, the points to remember is that the packing efficiency in BCC lattice unit cell is 68%. And how to calculate the vacant space? Vacant space will be 100 minus packing efficiency. In such cases, here the answer should be 100 minus 68, which is equal to 32 percentage. So the answer would be option B, 32%, because 100 minus packing efficiency gives you the total vacant space. The answer is 32%. Now, the next question is from organic chemistry again. Conversion of an amide to a primary amine by treating with Br2 NaOH is known as dash rearrangement. So the answer is Hofmann rearrangement. Let's take a look at the representative reaction. So here you have an amide which is RCOONH2. Then it will be reacting with Br2 and NaOH to form isocyanate. This particular species is known as isocyanate, which further gives up carbon dioxide to give primary amine. So I have already done some videos on the name reactions and common reaction. There are many related reactions of Hofmann. So I have done all these reactions: Price, Beckmann, Pinacol, Pinaclone. All these I have previously done. Also, I'll give the link of those videos also in the description box below. Please go and watch that. It is going to be helpful for you. Now the next question. These are the number of questions that I'm going to discuss, 10 questions for the time being. I'll be uploading more questions and some practice techniques for you people um, in the coming days. So thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, share this with all your friends, and if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe the channel. Thank you so much. Have a good day and prepare really well. Thank you.